Greetings everyone and welcome to our webinar. Today we're going to be talking about the Dell Live Optics software, but just before we begin, let me make sure that you can see my screen and hear me well. So please drop me a quick message into the GoToMeeting chat box or the question box, and this way we check the things out. Yeah, great, thank you. So then, yeah, perfect. Let me then quickly introduce myself to get this webinar started. My name is Vladislav, and I'm Solutions Engineer here at Starwind. And now back to today's topic. As it was previously announced, today we're going to discuss the Dell Live Optics software, report that gathers the software, and how it helps to understand the status of production environment or the IT infrastructure or the IT environment. We'll talk about software itself, ways of its deployment, and collecting the data with it. Also, we'll walk through the report itself and see how everything works. Please also note that this webinar is being recorded and the recorded video will be uploaded to our website and to our YouTube channel. I would also be very thankful for any of your rating votes at the end of the broadcast. Alright guys, it seems that we're good to move on. For starters, I would like to address your attention to a quick overview of today's topics. I want to let you know that this webinar will be divided into two parts. So first part will be quick introduction and will determine what is the Live Optics software and what is the report that Live Optics software collects. The technical session and Q&A session will be the main part of the webinar. I will show you how to run software on different operating systems, how to download it, and how it's working. So everything will be covered on that part, on the technical one. Also, we'll walk through the real report at the end of the webinar, and I will answer all of your questions as well at the end of the webinar. So okay, gentlemen, let's talk about the Live Optics software itself. When it was first released, it was called Dell DPAC. After some time, its name was changed to Dell Live Optics. So the Dell Live Optics is a free online software you can use to collect, visualize, and share data about your IT environment and workloads. Live Optics provides data analysis to help you understand your workload performance so that buyers and IT providers can simplify discovery and have a mutual understanding of project requirements. The software allows you to view insights of scenarios of combined workloads, safely share with others to help you make decisions, view your data in a web portal, say ready to present PowerPoint decks, or export into vendor decision software for rapid solutioning. Okay, so moving on. And let's talk now about the report that gathers Live Optics software. So Live Optics report covers several areas in IT infrastructure space. And these areas are the server and virtualization. Live Optics provides IT professionals with the live inventory and performance insights of hosts and virtual machines regardless of platform or vendor, helping to record and communicate their achieved benchmarks, workloads, or support concerns to others to accelerate decision time and reduce risk. File. Unstructured data is one of the fastest growing data categories in the world. Live Optics was designed to bring insights to unstructured data through characterization of storage growth and file types. Storage. Report provides with detailed information about vendor, storage configuration, its inventory, and performance history. All of this allow validate the new deployment or consider components replacement for old systems. Okay, gentlemen, so at this point, the first part, the quick introduction of the webinar is completed. It's the end of it. So we can move to the technical session where I will show everything. Unless you have any questions that you can put to the GoToWebinar question or the chat box. Yeah, and while I'll be switching to the technical session screen, as well as I mentioned, you can put any questions. All right, So, gentlemen, I've resumed my screen sharing. So I'm currently showing you the Live Optics portal. So how you can get to this portal, I would say the access to this portal. So first of all, you can go to liveoptics.com and just quickly sign up to it. So anyone could do this. As well, you can get the capture request from the vendor that you're working with on the specing the solution for your future environment or for current environment to replace your current hardware. Yeah, and with following that capture request, you will be transferred to the Live Optics portal, and we'll quickly sign up to it. As well, just let me, gentlemen, do the quick step back. So I see I have the question. And the question is this software supports only the Dell hardware? Nope. So this software, the Live Optics software, can be used for collecting the data from any hardware vendor. So not only Dell, but Supermicro, HP, Lenovo, IBM servers, Cisco ones. So could be used for collecting the data from them. And gentlemen, yeah, back to the Live Optics portal. So as you can see, I already signed into it with my credentials, and currently I don't have any projects yet here. So as well, you will see this when you just first time sign into it. So how you can get access to the collector itself that collects the report? So you just go into download collectors here, and there is a few versions. I would say two versions of the Dell Live Optics collector. It's the Windows one, which is will be used in, I would say, 95% of the cases, or even more, and the Linux one. So the Linux one was deployed for the Linux systems that uses the RSA SSH connections that doesn't support by the Windows version of the collector. Yeah, but the Linux one has the same functionality that has the Windows one, so you can do the remote collection of the servers, local one, as well connect to the collector itself remotely from other virtual machines. But for the Linux one, the limitation is you can get you can collect the information only from the Linux operating systems. But from the Windows one, you obviously can get it from other operating systems as well. So as well, let me just scroll down it, and here you can see the compatibility list. So all the supported systems for different scenario. So as you can see, run collector locally, collect it remotely connect from the OS. So here you can double check all of the operating systems that's supported by the Live Optics collector, and see if your environment and all of your operating systems are supported by the Live Optics collector. Okay, so as well with this done, let me just quickly back to the dashboard, and I will tell you a little bit more information. So here we have the upload SIO kit. So basically when you run the Live Optics collector, you have several options of collection, I would say. You can run it without sharing to Live Optics portal, or you can do it with it. So basically you can do the quick stream to the Live Optics portal, and report will be uploaded to the Live Optics portal after the collection will be completed. If you won't choose this option, then everything will be collected in form of SIO kit. So it will be a file with the extension with SIO kit. So then you can upload it to have the access to this report. Yeah, to the entire report. And then you can share it with the next way. So you can share the link to this report, and by just signing up all the companies or the persons that you share the Live Optics report with will have the access to it. As well, you can save the report from the Live Optics portal as the PowerPoint decks or the PDF format. The same report will be, but just like the PowerPoint decks or the PDF file with the report. Okay, great. So with the portal itself, we done. Yeah. So let me just quickly switch to my another screen so I can show you the Windows version of the Live Optics collector and how the software and the collection process will look like. As well, you can drop me any questions regarding the Live Optics software or the portal itself. Okay, great. So, yeah, gentlemen, currently I'm showing you the my virtual machine that I'm working with to run the Windows-based Live Optics collector. So already unzip it. So basically, you're downloaded the archive with all the necessary stuff, and just running the liveoptics.net here. Yeah, so it show the information. You can get started. So I'll just pause the initial, I would say, running of the software. So there, just you're accepting the all the necessary security stuff and everything else. So then you will be transferred to this part. So as I mentioned, the Live Optics software and the collector will collect the data from the different areas of IT infrastructure and IT environments. So they're the server and virtualization. So as well, by clicking all of this, you can see the quick description of it. So the server virtualization, all of the your hardware, the physical service and the virtual environments will be used for the collection. As well, separately files, the storage. So you can specify which storage solution you have to use for collection. As well, the data protection. So you can specify the backup or the protection software that you're using for protecting your environment, and as well collect the data about it. And the last one is workload. So currently it's available for the SQL server. So as well, Dell works on extending this part, but as well you can collect the data from your SQL server. So we're going to the server and virtualization. So we're clicking start here. And we have the, first of all, selecting the upload options. So it's establish a secure connection to the Live Optics web service. As well, it's recommended. So it will create the stream. So as I mentioned, after the completing the collection, you'll be transferred the report itself will be uploaded to the Live Optics portal, where you can choose the different options of sharing of it. As well, you can do not connect to Live Optics web service, so do not create a stream. Inventory mode, so the only the collect target inventory and write locally to file, so only the local one. So we're selecting do not connect to the Live Optics web service, clicking next. So we'll do everything. So currently just started once before the webinar the collection, just to have the already collected report so that I can show it to you and walk through to this report. So if you run the collector previously, it will ask you to use the saved credentials for the system that you use for collection, or just reset, like we'll choose right now. Yeah, and currently here we'll be adding the servers or the local system. So currently we're choosing the hardware and the environment that we'll be working with for the collection. As well, here at the bottom we have the duration um, for the collecting. So by the default and the recommended duration time, it's 24 hours. But we'll just switch it to the 10 minutes just to avoid the long time for the collection and just for the showing you how everything works. And clicking add the remote server because we don't need to collect the info from the local Windows virtual machine. Okay, so you can see connect to Windows Server or Hyper-V node, connect to VMware vCenter server. Here we have the check mark include VM performance data. So basically you just uncheck it because it will double all of the information that the collector will be collecting. So basically only if you specify in the vCenter server, then it will collect everything from the inventory of the vCenter. So the cluster, the data center, and as well we'll show you that you can select separate environments for the collection. If, for example, in the vCenter server, you have in one data center couple of clusters, for example, gathered in one data center. Or as well, back into it, last option, connect to supported Linux, Unix servers. Okay, so we selecting the VMware vCenter server and specifying the URL for it, the link to it. TPS 168.12.15. Oh, sorry, the wrong IP address 152. That should be the correct one. Click and connect. So currently we specifying the user. For this environment, basically for the servers, it's or the administrator or the root user account. So maybe in our local and the password for it. Clicking OK. Okay, so quickly check the credentials, and as I mentioned, in vCenter you're specifying what environments from your data center and the vCenter server environment you will be using for collection. So in my case, it's one data center and one cluster. So I'll just click in OK. So it will show me all of the hosts that will be used for collection, general information about them, and I click Start Capture. And you will see the progress of it and the remaining time. So it shows me the IP address of my vCenter server, status of it, number of servers, number of disks of each server, and the progress of it. Okay, gentlemen, so this one as well we done. So let me just quickly switch to the already pre-collected report so we can work through it and I will show you how the actual report looks like. Alright, so as you can see everyone, I'm showing you the report in a form of the PowerPoint decks already pre-collected to walk through to it. So it consists of the decks about, first of all, the environment overview. So as I can see, showing the project name, project ID, the date of creation, and who prepared it. Second one, it's basically about the report, general information a bit, and the most interesting starting from the third one. So the performance envelope. So this one, it's showing you general information about the main resources that you have in the system. So don't see for the little amount of resources, it's just the testing environment for this webinar to show you how the report looks like. But as well in real world, you will see the more I would say resources available or used here There are different cases. Sometimes you see a lot of the servers. You have the in the environment, for example, 12 or 14, and you use just the 15% of resources available from them for your production environment. Yeah, so general information that you can see in the performance envelope, it's CPU, so the peak of CPU, entire amount of CPU resources you have and the cores, for memory as well, the peak memory usage and the total amount of memory, capacity used for used capacity free and total as well. Peak average network throughput, average daily write, so it's very important for the systems. For example, if you're building some kind of hybrid configurations, when you mix in the different types of the storage, when you're working with the caches. So here it's very important for you, this part, because you need to be aware of it when you build in the caches or some kind of tiered storage. And basically as well, you can see the average of the IOPS usage. Next one, it's the inventory. For this, starting for each part of the collected data. So starting from the inventory summary, so showing you the number of the guest virtual machines, number of the servers, as well showing you the physical or the virtual, the hypervisor, showing you the operating systems that are used in your environment based on hypervisor, virtual machines, and everything else. Server manufacturers, if the Live Optics can determine the hardware vendor, it will show it. If not, like in our case, it's other. Next one, it's showing you, first of all, top 5 servers by the IOPS. In our case, it's just 2 servers. Scroll down. And for each one of the performance envelope. So next one, it's the memory, CPU, network throughput, and as well latency. Next one, it's we starting the actual resource utilization, seeing the resource utilization there. First of all, it's CPU performance. We're starting off seeing the usage of CPU and saturated core counts, used memory and free memory as well. As well, see the CPU performance. In our case, it's nothing because of the demo environment. And last for this section, it's CPU performance in total. So we can see the total number of cores, total number of CPUs, net clock speed, peak CPU usage, average CPU usage, and peak memory usage. Next one for storage. So the number of local capacity as well as the shared one. So in the third slide that I showed the performance envelope, you are seeing the entire storage usage, the local and the shared one. But on the storage section, storage capacity section, you will see the separately them. So the local one, the local storage of the servers, and the shared if you connect the shared storage to the servers. Okay, the next one, just walk through here, it's I/O performance. So we're seeing the write IOPS and read IOPS separately and the average of them. And it's the read or write throughput. As well, next it's I/O performance with the queue depth, write I/O size, read I/O size for it. Next it's the latency and the network, through the network, which amount of data sends. And as well, like for the storage and CPU, the I/O performance, the total information for the section. So the ratio for the read write, average daily write, the peak average of network throughput, peak disk throughput, IOPS peak and the average of them, and as well the average of I/O read size and the write size. After seeing all of this general information, the total information, not the general, the information in total for the entire environment, we then have the sections, the same sections for each server separately. So we're starting with the first one of our two servers, see the operating system of them, time recorded, so it's just how much time was spent for the running of the report. So for us it was 8 minutes, just to show you how the report looks like. And as well, all of the information that we saw previously for the entire system were seen for each server separately. So for example, we have most of IOPS on the first server, on this one, because the average of the entire system was something a little bit more than 300, and for this server, it's 295 at 95%. As well, the read-write ratio, the capacity of it, and all of the other information about the hardware as well of it, and the performance graphics as well for IOPS, read or write, and all other information about the used memory and everything else. And the same for the second server as well. So here, oh, not the second server, sorry for that. It's the general information for the data, as you can see as well. All the graphics for here. Oh, okay, so I just scrolled down it, but didn't switch the slides. So yeah, starting with the second server. So here we have the another information available. So for the first server, we had the IOPS at average, which was almost 300. So on this one, we have just 11. So from the IOPS perspective, we can see that everything is working on the first server that we saw. Yeah, so this can give us the information that we are not utilizing this server at all in the cluster. As well, the read-write ratio is different. So on that server, it was the read ratio more. So here it's write ratio more. So next, what we can see. So yeah, based on all of the information, we currently, I would say, not utilizing the storage of this host at all. So yeah, it can give us information that we are just need to distribute the workload from that server to this one just to unload that server. As well, the same information for write, read IOPS, used and free memory, the write throughput, read throughput, CPU information, and everything else that we seen. Next, yeah, the disks for this server. So the data of it, so the same information that we saw previously on the few slides above, but as well we have this because this section is related just for the data, the usage of the data 2, which is the local disk of the server. And at the end of the report, we have the summaries, which is servers summary with the server name and all the information about it, so we can see the resource usage. So for example, we have the 450 gigabytes of total capacity on the first server, free capacity just 2 gigabytes, and allocated used almost everything, and we have the most of IOPS on that server, and we have as well the 500 gigabytes of free space of total capacity, and 400 is free for it, and that is why we don't have any IOPS on that. Yeah, it's for the servers. Next one, it's for the local disk reported, so it's only for the storage local disks as well, since we don't have any shared storage connected to the servers, there will be as well information about that in each section of the report. So next one, it's the information about the definition. So for CPU, IOPS, for all of the parameters and all of the sections that were shown in the report. Okay, all right, everyone. So at this point, I would say the entire webinar is over. So currently I can answer all of the questions that you have related to the everything that you saw on the webinar. Yeah, so you can send all of your questions to the GoToMeeting question box. Okay, and we have the question. So can we connect? Can we collect the information? Sorry, can we collect the information from the single ESXi server and not from the vCenter? Yeah. So during the when I was showing you the software itself, the window for it, we had the last option, the Linux or the Unix systems that you can use for the collection, the separate servers. Yeah. So since the ES6i has the ability to create a SSH connection, you can specify the IP address of that server and utilize it. As well, in most cases, you have the vCenter environments that you can use for adding that server to the vCenter and use it for collection, or as well, as I mentioned just a few seconds before, you can work with it. Yeah, so let's see. Okay, so yeah, if you have if you have any additional questions, we can I can answer them as well, so you can drop them to the GoToMeeting question box. All right, everyone. So I see you are not sending any questions, so just to do not waste anyone's time, I want to thank you for visiting our webinar, joining me today. It was a pleasure to work with all of you. It was great pleasure. So as well as an addition, you could always reach out to our support to ask any questions regarding any kind of that you have, or as well want to mention that this webinar as well will be uploaded to our website in a couple of days. So yeah, once again, thank you everyone, and wish you a good day. Goodbye.